Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Now let's take a look at some of the stocks on the move here in Europe. I'm Caroline Hepker with Tom McKenzie, and we're joined by Bloomberg reporter Chloe Millay. Good morning.
Good morning.
So let's think about the power gear maker Schneider Electric having a very good day in markets, but why?
Yeah, well, it's about big buyback. Usually that's always received very well, and that's no different for Schneider Electric today. So it announced a buyback of as much as 3.5 billion euros through to 2030. And so this is part of a broader medium-term strategy for the company. So it's targeting a really big step up in profitability over those next 5 years, and that'll be driven by really positive trends in artificial intelligence, of course, but also grid infrastructure and electrification. So a big driver of growth, that the one that's been really talked about for Schneider, has been, of course, data centers. So it provides some of that equipment that's really key to the running of data centers. So we're talking about cooling technologies, server racks, electrical equipment, etc. And in its latest results, Schneider had said that the sales had really been boosted by that growing demand for this AI infrastructure. And so that is something that will continue, that it's hoping will continue over this next 5 years. So we have this strategy and also this big buyback, this kind of focus on capital allocation, really driving those shares this morning and being welcomed quite warmly by the market.
And Citi, meanwhile, food for thought in their take on Delivery Hero.
Yeah, so Delivery Hero is down this morning after being downgraded to a sell rating by Citi Analysts. So the analysts mentioned that it will be facing increasing competition in two regions in particular, so the Middle East and North Africa. And its biggest competitor, which is Meituan, which is the Chinese food delivery company, that is going to be a real big challenge for Delivery Hero, and that will really hurt growth and hurt the margin going forward, according to Citi. And so we have seen those shares coming down today, and this comes just a day after shares had gained actually quite a bit yesterday, because Delivery Hero had said that it was considering the next strategic steps for the company in response to investor pressure. So some investors are pushing for a sale of the entirety or parts of that company to try and boost profitability and try and turn things around for Delivery Hero. And so the fact that the company had said it was listening to those investors had boosted those shares yesterday, but now that downgrade is really weighing on that stock, and it looks like next year will be quite tough for that food delivery company.
Okay. Meanwhile, a company that makes items for kind of low light levels, i.e. kind of night goggles, that sort of thing, Exosens. What's been happening with them?
Yeah, so we have Exosens in France and Theon in Greece, which are two smaller kind of defense names, and both of them are making night vision goggles, and they've both gained quite a lot this morning, because they have signed a 500 million euro contract to provide night vision equipment to the German and Belgian armed forces. So it's the largest contract ever in the history of night vision technology, at least according to those companies, and it's particularly big for them because they are actually obviously on the smaller side. They're not on the kind of level of Rheinmetall when we think about defense. And Bernstein analysts have said that this was really supportive of that defense sector in general after the recent sell-off that we've seen, and that this contract really supported the view that European countries will be continuing and are continuing to invest in their military and their defense efforts, despite the fact that we are actually perhaps moving closer to peace in Ukraine and to the easing of those tensions between Russia and Ukraine. So the fact that that big contract was signed is essentially seen as a good sign for both the companies involved directly, those two smaller companies, but also for that broader industry where we have seen a little bit of concern perhaps that there will be a pullback in spending.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.